My wife works our business with me, but you could say she's stay at home, right? So she works from home. Granted, she works her tail off. We both do. But it's afforded us some pretty cool things. We've got some cool things now. If we want to go do something, we can. Hold on, this is her. Hello. That's a prime example. My daughter's having a really hard day today, so we're going to do something special for her, right? It's 3 o'clock on a Wednesday, and I'm going to probably take off early. Pretty cool. I got licensed when I was, I think 2018 is when I got licensed. And I worked for 6 months, and then I took a 1.5 year break. I think I had, $10,000 to $13,000 saved up to go into real estate. Welding, I could work, and I would take I would work for like 1 to 2 months and take 1 to 2 months off, and I was making the transition. And so when I went into real estate, I was expecting just to be able to jump in and just go right after it. And I did. It just wasn't quite enough for what I was used to. So I made a decision to go back on the road to weld for basically another year and a half, and pay off my debt. That way, when I came back into real estate full time, I could be, more stable. I originally got into real estate so I could get better deals on investments, and that proved to not be true. So then I realized, hey, I think I can probably do this thing, and I guess I did it. When I was 18, I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and there's a chapter in Rich Dad Poor Dad where his wife wants to get a Porsche, or Porsche if you're fancy, right? And so in the chapter he says, well, if you want a Porsche, just go buy a house and flip it and go buy your Porsche. And so she did. And when I was 18, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Now, granted, I don't drive a Porsche, but it's the sentiment, right? So when I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I started learning about active versus passive income and the difference in investing in real estate, I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna do that. So the whole reason I even started welding was so I could save up enough money and then come back home and then build duplexes was my grandiose idea. And I thought, man, if I could just have 4 duplexes, I would be rich and I would be set for life. It's not the case, but that's the whole reason I went into welding, was so I could get enough money to do real estate. It didn't happen, my goal wasn't happen to be like agent, it was to invest in real estate. But so that started back when I was 18, 19, when I started learning about, investing. I think every single millionaire I've ever met, with the exception of a few, have all been real estate. Every single one of them. And so to me, there's always been something about real estate, like, okay, if you can do well in real estate, you're gonna do well. And so I think my whole life has just been kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do real estate. It didn't necessarily mean agent, but something in real estate world. And here I am now, I guess, doing everything in real estate world. It'd be agent, rentals, and construction, and flips. And so I just really like real estate in general. I think it's really cool. We are personally closing on a 40-unit apartment complex. That's a pretty big one. It's kind of sobering there was somebody in my office and I was pulling up a legal description for the property we're purchasing, and there's an aerial view of this thing, and it's got like 8 buildings. And he's like, you're buying that? And I was like, huh, I guess I am buying that. Like, it doesn't really click until you're like, oh my gosh, like, I own 40 units that has 8 buildings. So I have the opportunity to house like 40 families, which is a pretty sobering thing,